Okay, we are Pashas Tzavim Vayelach, right? Bezat Hashem, Motzei Shabbos, we're starting Slichas, and this, in Mitzvah Hashem, we'll have Zoom share on Motzei Shabbos. All those who wish to attend, but in the shul, next week in Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to Uman. Mitzvah Hashem, going to the Rebbe. So this sorry, in Mitzvah Hashem Monday. It's coming Monday. That's a Hashem. So as you'll see here, we have finished the text that Rabbeinu has given over in Torah 62. So now we are dealing with a few Peoras, comments that are adjacent to the Torah, has to do with various points in the Torah itself. As you recall, in the nutshell, Torah Samach Beis teaches that it's through the eating of a Jew, that's right, especially popcorn, also, corn, but especially, anyhow, that brings about the unification of Kutsha B'Chu Shkintei in the best fashion possible, which is panim b'panim. Then the Rebbe visited, how do you actually get to eat it? How can you eat in such a way that has such a profound spiritual effect on reality? The answer is with proper emunah. And the way to proper emunah goes through the rectification of the things which are the opposite of emunah, which is the apikorsis, the heresy. The various stages, various expressions of such a heresy. But basically, that kind of heresy is divided into two categories. There's one category which is not even possible to find an answer. Human mind doesn't have the wherewithal, to mash things together. So on that kind of heresy of that kind, this pertains specifically to questions, dilemmas, paradoxes, whatever, that have to do with Kadosh Baruch Hu himself, as it were. You want to know, what is a Kadosh Baruch Hu? When you say Kadosh Baruch Hu wants, what does it mean that he wants? What does it mean he gets angry? What does it mean that he's pleased? All these things, we have absolutely no way of understanding. Right. So this is the kind of heresy where you have to rely upon Emunah completely. In other words, you don't even go into it. You know how they say that a smart person is someone who can wiggle out of problems that the wise person wouldn't get into in the first place. So that's the kind of kashas that don't get into in the first place. There's another kind of heresy which is answerable. However, it requires full knowledge of Torah, especially Sifrei Poskim. That has to do with the conduct of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Bria. Why HaKadosh Baruch Hu did this, why HaKadosh Baruch Hu did that. You know, all these things, if a person has a total mastery of the Torah, he would know answers. He can find answers to all these questions. He would know the answers. Now, being that we are not in that madrega, so any part which we're still lacking in the Dias HaTorah, it already becomes a no man's land that we're not allowed to enter because we just get lost. Like the first type of heresy that there's no answers b'chlal. That kind of thing, if I don't have the ability to figure things out, for me is Pchinas Ein Sof. For me is a Pchina of Emunah that I have no business getting into it. But the Rebbeinu says there's another aspect of this kind of heresy in a person's heart. In a person's heart. In other words, this is quiet, the silent heresy. The expression of this heresy is that a person is not aware of the reality of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Metzias Hashem. Metzias Hashem. How do you know? I'm not aware of Metzias Hashem. What are you talking about? Yeah, how do you daven? How do I daven? If a person has full awareness of the mitzvahs of Kadosh Baruch Hu, he is davening with all his heart. He pays attention to every single word. He davens b'koyach, he davens b'kavana. Shevisi Hashem neged tamet, Kadosh Baruch Hu is before you at any given moment. When a person sees that he's not holding in this madriga, that kind of blindness to Metzias Hashem, even though a person doesn't have kashas, I don't have kashas. I don't have kashas because Baruch Hu does that. I don't have kashas. Nevertheless, the lack of fervor in tefillah reveals to me that there is a lurking apicorsis in my heart. That apicorsis is being diminished and expunged and scraped off by learning Sifrei Poskim. Learning halacha. Each person according to his madrega. Somebody can learn Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Very good. Somebody can learn Mishnah Brura. That's even better. Somebody can learn Shulchan Aruch and Nosei Kelim. Somebody can learn Rishonim, Achronim. Somebody can learn also the Gemara. Somebody can learn, and so each one according to his madrega. You learn Sifrei Poskim, that helps him answer the apicorsis in his own heart. Now, when a person has emunah, shleimus, He knows all the answers. He's aware of Mitzvah Kodesh Baruch Hu. The Emunah lacks one final step, which is the adornment, the jewelry, the beautiful clothing. The Emunah is still lacking. This part, when you believe, what do you want? I believe. Yeah. But if you want the Emunah to be shining like a kala, the way it's supposed to be, you have to be Mekar Rechoikim. Rechoikim, those who are far from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then we went through the whole process, how through Tainus, our person takes out the Kedusha from the Klipos. When he does that, the Klipos lose their allure. And what happens is that all those who are connected to him, to that, if it's Jews that are far from Emunah, or these are Goyim, when their Avodah Zorah does not offer them any kind of illusion, any sparkle of meaning, suddenly it's dry, suddenly they see it for what it really is, then they go seek Emunah Yisrael. And they get close to Emunah Yisrael. Then the Emunah is totally complete. It's adorned, it's beautified with extra jewelry, those extra people that came close to it. And then when that is done, and the Jew eats, with such kedusha, such emunah, his own emunah, answering all that because it's with the he's already mekar b'choikim through through the tiniest whatever it is that he is doing. Again, we're saying, just to mention, the tiniest that we're talking about is not necessarily the avodas of tinisim that used to do a previous generation. Not eating before davening is already a tinius. Not eating before davening is already such a tinius. It's a tinius already. Tinius, something 2 hours. I'm not going to eat before davening. I'm going to fast for 2 more hours. Well, tinius shows. Sometimes you make a day of refraining from eating anything from the animal world. You're going vegan for a day. That's also tainus. All these are pinas of tainus. So when a person does that, a person beautifies the Shekhinah, and the Shekhinah comes together with Kadosh Baruch Hu. And at that point of intimacy between Kadosh Baruch Hu and the Shekhinah is advocating for all those who are far from Kadosh Baruch Hu. And the Shekhinah says as follows: what kind of advocacy? Shekhinah says, listen, the very same way, that people in this world, that in the olam of Hastara, right? How do they know of Kadosh Baruch Hu? From what they can see. They see, they go to a library, they see books, they know somebody wrote them. The same way, the Shekhinah says, you are only known from that which is overt, that which is known. So people can deduce, okay, there's somebody who's doing it. There's you. But they can't see you. Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu, you are totally hidden. And being a Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world on a conduct that things go hand in hand with intermediary, with causes. Your work is connected with parnasa. Medicine is connected with health, with refuah. So being that these are constant things that repeat themselves, so people fall into making the mistake that it is really the work that gives it a parnasa. And it's really the medicine that heal you. It puts a picorsis in the heart of a person as if Kadosh Baruch Hu alone, without the medicine, without the work, cannot give a person health or parnasa. And we went in a great length why these things are necessary. If they are not the main things, if it's not working, it gives you parnasa, and it's not the medicine that gives a person health. So why do we deal with them? Oh, so the ishtadlus we're supposed to do is there. It's not because Kodesh Baruch Hu cannot do it without it. We need to be able to get over this latent apicorsis in our own heart. It's the work. It's the medicine. So no, it's a Kodesh Baruch Hu. I'm doing my ishtadlus. That's one thing. It has nothing to do with the result. No, you're making a keli. You're making a keli in the sense that Kodesh Baruch Hu cannot give you without this keli. Okay, so the main thing is that I'm doing ishtadlus because I'm told that I need to do ishtadlus. I'm told I need to do ishtadlus. But it doesn't mean that Kodesh Baruch Hu couldn't do it without it. I'm supposed to do ishtadlus because that's the way Kodesh Baruch Hu wants the world to run. That begets a level of apicorsis. Either people say Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't deal with anything in the world. It's all nature. It's all science. It's all the mazalos, the zodiac, whatever it is that they say. And it comes into chisar nemuna that the person himself, believes in Hashem bevadai, and it says Kodesh Baruch Hu could bevadai, but what's happening in a person's heart? So the Shina says, you know why that happens? Because people cannot know you, Ribono Shel Olam, except from what they can see. He says, but when the tzaddik davens and he changes nature, suddenly a person can have refuah without medicine. Suddenly a person can have parnasa without work. Then it becomes obvious to everybody that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who runs the world. That's so the Shechina asks HaKadosh Baruch Hu to listen to the tefillah of the tzaddikim, so people will know the truth, that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu alone, He alone, and the Rambam says, Asa, Oisa, V'yasa, L'chol ha'maisim. He did, He does, and He will do all that it is done, all the deeds, everything's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is what the term. So now we're saying like this: Shachlot base. Ze shalom. The Rabbeinu says shalom is Tevis V'da Ma Shetoshav Apikoros. Peace, shalom, is the acronym of the first letter of V'da Ma Shetoshav Apikoros. You should know what to answer that picorsis in your own heart or in other people. This is making shalom. We said when you learn Paiskim, when you learn Halacha, you're making shalom in the machlokes between the Tanoim and the Amoraim, the Gemara and the Mishnah, which is machlokes shebekdusha. It's which is the root and the sherish that as it trickles down to defilement, it becomes a picorsis. It's machlokes the Yetzer Hara in the heart of a person. When a person gets this shalom, learning the poskim, he knows what to answer on this latent apicorsis, which is in his own heart. Ayin Sham. And now he's adding the gam alidei shalom also with peace, sheyesh ben Israel ben echad lechaveroi, when there is a relationship of peace between one person and his friend, gam al-yedei zeh nisbatlin apikorsus. This also cancels out apikorsus.
By being having a friend.
A peace between you and other people.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about Simon Chavzayin. When there is peace, people don't fight each other. So they're open to explain and to hear from one another what the truth is. But if there's no peace between people, every person wants to win. Rabbeinu says in Sefer Midas, the midah of victory, of nitzachon, cannot stand the truth. I want to win. I don't care what the truth is. I want to win. So when there is a conflict, people cannot explain the truth to one another because every person is questioning the motives of the other person. Why are you telling me all these things? You want to prove to me that you're smarter than me, huh? You want to show me that I'm stupid, right? You want to show me that I'm not good and you're superior to me, right? Well, the heck with you. So when there's no peace between people, they're not open to receive from one another. Because they're always protecting their turf. I think I told you that a friend of mine, who's a not religious person, sent me certain kind of a video of some kind of a skit like an Israeli equivalent of Abbott and Costello, who's on first, who's on second, kind of like just what I don't know, whatever it is. But that's a different kind of skit, which is based on that whole frenzy that they have about the judicial reform and whatever it is. So he sent it to me. So I know better. I mean, he's a very smart person. He's a physicist and really, really smart person. But whenever it is that you go to a midah of nitzachon, the seichel goes to the garbage. Person feels attacked. He feels put down. A person feels attacked. Person feels he's attacked. So the seichel goes out the window. So I know that to start arguing with him will be counterproductive. It's not going to do anything. So instead, I answered him. The elephant, how does the elephant look like? It looks like a wall or a column or a hose or a rope, all depending where the blind man grabs hold of it. And I said, we're all like that. So he answers me, I love that. In other words, I told him, you are blinded to certain aspects. We're all like that. I'm blind to certain aspects. Whatever, we see what we want to see. We don't see, it all depends. We all see only this tunnel vision, this little portion of what we see. There's peace between people. When people know that the other person wants his toivel, he wants his benefit, he's open to listen. I know you're not out to get me. I know you're not out to humiliate me. Don't you dare. Dare? Don't you dare. Oh. When I know you're not out to humiliate me, I can listen. I can hear. You know something? He's right. I should look into myself. I should do. That's what Chazal said. if Ephraim, Israel, is connected Chaver, it's Chabura, of Atzavim is Elilim, is Avodah Zarah, Hanachlai, says the prophet in Kshiyesh Shalom, that Chazal said in Bereshis Rabbah, on this pasuk, if Chaver, if he is together, united, Atzavim, Ephraim, he is dining Avodah Zarah, Hanachlan, let him go, let him off the hook. So Chazal said, Kshiyesh Shalom ben Israel, when there's peace amongst Jews, even if they're idol worshippers, if there's peace between them, because Baruch Hu forgives them. Because unity among Jews is more important than Kodesh Baruch Hu, even if they're dealing with the Zohar or not.
Time in Gemara, there was a town that were all aboard the Zohar, and they went to war. They never lost a man. It's because they were clever together.
It wasn't just a town.
What?
The whole kingdom of Israel, the time of Achov.
Yeah.
Then wherever they went, they won.
Yeah.
They were all they've been like in the worst manner possible.
So
that's the principle. That's right.
Yeah.
However, when their hearts are separated from one another, now they will be found guilty. Now they're really going to get it. When there's machlokes, Kadosh Baruch Hu does not forgive. Why? Why is this principle? Oh, man, he's Avodah Zarah. He's dealing Avodah Zarah. Why should the Kadosh Baruch Hu forgive him? What's it? It explains. It is through disputes that heresies come along. And every person is holding on to his opinion. So people don't come together and discuss things together. Since they don't come, if they were to come together, what would happen? Every person would try to convince the other one, to think like him. Even if they were to come together, they still won't, retreat from their positions. Hey, I got my position to protect. Because of this midah of victory, I want to win. I want to win. So if I want to win, I don't care what the truth is. Actually, shalom, but when there's peace, even if they are serving idols, they're worshiping idols. So mishamayim, they're moichel to them. Why? Because since there's peace amongst them, eventually they will speak to one another, and they will bring each person from his own bad opinions and from his own apicurses. Because there's peace, there's dialogue. There's dialogue. It's himself, they will come to the truth.
They find the truth.
Yes. If they're open to a dialogue, to listening, because there is peace between them, eventually they will discard of their apicurses. It says Simon Zain. And another one, as it says in Tehillah David, Simon Yud Beis, Yansham, that the halachas is the tikkun, rectification of the machlokes. We said when a person learns halacha, he figures machlokes between the Tanoim and the Meroim, and eventually there's the shalom between a person in his own heart. So the Yetzer Hara in his own heart does not dispute on him. Over there we say the tzaddik is learning all the tzirufim, the machlokes, and makes halacha from it. This is what Ravina says over here. You need to learn poskim. You need to learn halacha, so that this brings about the tikkun of the machlokes, disagreements and disputes. And now we're coming to this Akdama to Rosh Hashanah. Shachos, hey, Gam Kiikar, Kol Advorim, the beginning of everything, and Aschala, it's the beginning. Everything follows the way you started. All the beginnings are difficult. Because you are going from one way to being another way. You have a habit of doing this, and you're going and you take a different habit to do something else. That's the hardest time. Once you already flipped over to the new conduct, after a while it becomes easier, it becomes routine. In the beginning, when you're used to it, it's the hardest time. All the beginnings are difficult. And he says as follows. Each time when you are traveling to the tzaddik, you should see to it that you're coming to the tzaddik every time like you have never traveled to the tzaddik before. It's brand new. Not like you already were by the tzaddik. Now I'm just coming again. How many omens did you have? Oh, I had 10, I had 3, I had 15, I had 30. That's not what it's about. You're not collecting stamps. It's not collections of umans. Vada, it has its own merit, but the idea is like you have never ever been to the tzaddik bichlal. And by a person it should be now all over. This is the first time you're going to the Rebbe. The first time you're going to the tzaddik. The main thing is the beginning. All the beginnings are hard. The koyach, the impetus, the generator, the turbo of all the avodah, all comes from the start. When you began, when you started. The way you started is going to determine how it's going to go. If you started all over again, with total oomph, total motivation, that's the way it's going to go. If you're going to come, that's the way it's going to go. 2 days ago, my mother-in-law, Zozan Gesund, 96-year-old lady, she had a problem of finding words. She was saying like words slowly and looking for words. So her doctor told us to take her to the hospital to get a head CAT scan to make sure that there's no bleeding in the brain, chas v'shalom. It's not a precursor to stroke or anything. So we took her there, and she had the CAT scan. Baruch Hashem, it was completely normal. And the neurologist told my mother-in-law, "Yeah, okay, this is emotional." I understand. Listen, she moved. It's not an easy thing. She told her, "Go out and start enjoying life. Age 96, go ahead and start enjoying life." Yeah, the neurologist said, physically you're fine. Go out and enjoy yourself. Go out, whatever it is. Listen, I understand. I think she's really vulnerable. That she's not a young she's not a spring chicken. But nevertheless, she told us, go ahead, start living. Age 96, start living. Start with that scholar at the beginning. According to how much power, how much effort and how much enthusiasm you're putting into the beginning, this is how things are going to go for you in your avodah. The main thing is the beginning. That's the reason why you have to start all over again. You have to start anew every time. Why? Maybe when you began, it wasn't, 100, pedal to the metal. It wasn't, at full force. It wasn't, power, takeoff, the throttles overhead. It was all right. It was so you have to begin all over again, restart all over again. Because everything follows the way that you began. That's why you have to start every time anew. To come to the tzaddik all anew. Like you've never with tremendous excitement, with tremendous motivation. And great is Gabris Tavoris Hashem Yisbarach. And so that his avodah afterward that will follow that beginning will be proper because it follows the beginning. Every time you have to have this chashash, maybe the beginning wasn't as good as it could be. You start all over again. So this is why you have to come to the tzaddik each time anew. And this is obviously the message that we have to drill into ourselves now as we're getting close, in Mitzvah Hashem, to Rosh Hashanah. It has two implications. One, I'm not going to Uman. I'm going to the Rebbe. From experience, I can tell you that going to Uman can cover a multitude of sins. All kinds of, and you're feeling, something, as long as I'm going to Uman, everything is okay. I can behave like I don't know what, but I'm going to Uman, everything is okay. Gamzeh, this is also very good, but that's not the way it's supposed to be. It also has a hashpah on the effort that you put into going to Uman, whether you get there or you don't. Shmuel Shapira, Zechat Tzaddik Livrocha, he had, towards the end of his life, he was very weak. And so he asked somebody, he didn't go out of his house for a long time. And he asked somebody, take me to the mikveh. So they helped him get up, and he got close to the door. He said, stop, that's it. I cannot go anymore. That was him going to the mikveh. He was pushing to the point that he couldn't do it anymore. If a person knows he doesn't, has trouble going to the mikveh, he doesn't even try. So that's not going to the mikveh. But if he's already doing what he did, he gets just that he can't do it. He's in such pain, he can't move. He went to the mikveh. That was his mikveh. If a person does whatever it is that he needs to do in order to get to the Rebbe, every single ounce of effort he puts into it, in any way, shape, or form, is going to the tzaddik mechadash, that's whether it is getting a visa or getting this or getting that, whether it is traveling, whether it is anything, the travel to the Rebbe starts from the fact that you want to go to the Rebbe. If you want to go to the Rebbe, you're doing everything you can to go to the Rebbe. B'ezrat Hashem, Rosh Hashanah, you'll be by the Rebbe one way or another. If you're in Uman, Vaday Tov. If you can't get to Uman, you're in Uman. I remember when there was Corona, I had a ticket. I went to the airport, and just before my flight, we came to the doors, and they told me, that's it. Nobody goes out of the country. You can't go in. So I went back, and people said, you must be heartbroken. You couldn't go to Uman. What do you mean I couldn't go to Uman? I went to Uman. I went as far as I could get. As Absir Chabalev told me, when you're by the Tzion, between where you're standing in one corner, and there may be like 2,000 people with you in the Tzion, you can't even come close. What, you're not by the Tzion? You're by the Rebbe. He says the same thing. If you couldn't get any closer and you're standing here in Eretz Yisrael, so it's like a million people between you and the Tzion. You're still by the Tzion. If you don't want to go to the Tzion, that's a whole other. If you don't want to go to the Tzion, it's much more problematic. It changes the whole ashkafa. It changes the ashkafa because if a person does everything that he can, and he feels, and if he cannot get it, he feels disappointed. It's normal. But he feels like, I didn't accomplish anything. That means he did not intend to go to the Rebbe. He intended to throw from himself the guilt feeling of not going to the Rebbe.
I have a different feeling though. I feel like maybe Rabbeinu doesn't want me there. I'm trying so hard to get there, and maybe doesn't want me there.
You're saying something true, but just a second. You're saying something true. Again, you are saying something true, but you're saying it wrong.
That's how I feel. I don't know what
no problem. I'm saying you're right.
There's so much to try to get
right.
there.
You are right.
This little thing is stopping. This little pushing the paper is stopping.
You are right. It's not a pushing of the paper that's stopping. You said before right. What you said before is right.
Bureaucracy.
You say, no, it's not bureaucracy. We just learned. It's not the causes that blocks you.
Right.
It's not the cause that blocks you. It's not that the Rebbe doesn't want you there. It's the Rebbe wants you there this way. He wants you to believe that even though you cannot be there physically, you don't know. Maybe Hashem, everything is possible. He can give you last moment, can give you reshus, and you'll be there. But if it doesn't happen, the Rebbe wants you by him this way to see if you can mechazik yourself be'emunah that the Rebbe is so great that you can be by him even without him wanting you to be there physically. To say he doesn't want me there, like I'm worthless.
No,
I
haven't been there in like 4 years.
No, you have been there for 4 years this way. Do you understand what I'm saying? The difference? We're saying the same thing, but looking at it from a total different kind of perspective. You're looking at, you're taking the telescope, when you look at the telescope, you turn it over, looking from, the end to the beginning, things look this far, It's understandable. It's totally understandable. No, it's totally understandable. The kicking you out, that's the mistake. That's the epicorsis. That's the chisar in Emunah. Frustrated? Yes. I understand it completely. But nevertheless, you have to believe 100%. If you are doing everything that you can, as you did, and as you're doing, wherever you will be, you are by the Rebbe. Wherever you will be, you are by the Rebbe. It's if when you're saying, I really don't want to go there. You're going like, traveling for 26. I'm not talking about you. So if a person says, I have like 26, 20 hours of travel, and a person really wants to go through this, like he wants to have root canal without Novocaine, but not going to Uman. How will I face myself not going to Uman? Whatever it is, I have to go there. But I really don't want to go there. I have to go there, whatever it is. So that's the way it's going to go. But if a person really wants to go to the Rebbe, whatever eventuality he will meet, he is by the Rebbe. And you're supposed to make a cheshbon nefesh. If the Rebbe doesn't want me physically there, the Rebbe wants me to know that that's the way he wants me there. Not that he doesn't want me. He wants me this way. And as long as I know that's what I want to do, and I do all these tablets, the doctors tell me, look, 2 years ago, I couldn't go. I was hospitalized. I had this thing in my leg, whatever it is. Doctors didn't let me go. Didn't let me travel. And I asked my Rav. He said, the doctor doesn't let you travel. You don't travel. You don't travel. And I went out of my mind. What do you mean I don't travel? Well, you don't travel. You are an Oman. If you do everything that you can, and you cannot get there, you're an Oman. In other words, he wants you now to start to be in Uman like you were never there before. The Rebbe wants you to be there if you don't get Yeshua until then. As I said before, it's still very possible you'll be there together with us. But if it so happens, it means the Rebbe wants you to come close to him, mechadash, brand new, to accept everything. This is going to the Rebbe. If I did everything I could, this is going to the Rebbe. That's what the Rebbe wants me. I'm coming to the Rebbe brand new, like I've never before. Until now, I didn't go. I was broken. I failed. I'm not wanted. I'm kicked. You won't have good old Richard Nixon to kick around anymore, whatever it is. That's right. And that's the way it used to be until now. Now you have to come close to the Rebbe. You do all the effort until you go. And if it doesn't work out, it means that's the way the Rebbe wants you to come to him. It's chazak be'emunah. The Rebbe is great enough to take care of you here too. You are by him. Brand new. It's a different level of emunah. It's a different level of accepting what a Kosh Baruch Hu wants from me. The kind of tikkun that the tzaddik is doing with me that I've never done before. It's not like I'm going to Uman and why are you here? Well, I'm going to Rabbeinu. Okay, so I'll go to the Tzion. Okay, I'm going to Tzion. Okay, daven a little bit. How long am I going to daven? Oh, I already did 15 minutes, man. I'm so tired. I'm going to sleep. Now, the Rebbe is incidental. Like he's the cause, obviously, of everything. But Lamaisa, I just want to be here. Man. Let the Rebbe do whatever he needs to do. Leave me out of it. That's not the way you're supposed to travel to the tzaddik. It also makes everything that it takes to get there or not to get there, the trip to the tzaddik. Don't say it didn't work. No, it worked this way. With oomph, with excitement, with total emunah, the Rebbe wants me like this. It seems to me that I was kicked out. It seems to me that my certain everything goes opposite of what I want. I don't see what the Kodesh Baruch Hu want from me. No, no. That's not because it's in the heart. And Muna Shlema, like Anas, when the Soviet Union existed, whatever it is, used to travel to Lublin, right? Before the Second World War, they used to go to the border. You go to the border, stay at home. No, you're getting as close as you can. But you didn't get to Ummah, so what good is that? It has nothing to do with this. You do what you can. If they don't let you get there, the Nosson says, if you, wherever you go is good. Wherever you go is good, as long as you do everything.
I don't know, Yeshua's last year.
You had plenty of Yeshuas. You had plenty of Yeshuas. Okay, I just want, let's just, okay, I want to wish.
Physical aspect, travel, etc. But we can really be there.
And you do what you can.
Do what you can, then you're there.
Because if you don't do what you can, you're not there. You just find an excuse. Oh, good, I can't go there. No. You really need to do it with all your heart. Then then you get all the tikkunim of the tzaddik. I want to wish each and every one a ksiva v'achsima toiva, including for me, and for my mother-in-law, and for my wife, Zat Hashem, all those who need refuah, Zat Hashem will have refuah shleima. Zat Hashem will write us and sign us to a good year of good life, of beruchnius, gashmius, health, nasa, everything that we need. A year of proper iskarvus to tzaddikim, to have real emunah in the kedusha of the tzaddikim and the koyach of the tzaddikim. To be Moshiach to all those, who come close and who wish to come close to them. I tell you even more than that. The tzaddik emes is behind the motivation of everybody that wants to get to Kadosh Baruch Hu, whether they realizes it or not. It doesn't have to be a Breslover. People think, no, you have to be a Breslover in order for the koyach hamoshech of the tzaddik to push you to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. All Am Yisrael needs it. The Rebbeinu says before us, it's not only you who is telling the Rosh Hashanah, the entire world depends on the Rosh Hashanah. B'zat Hashem, again, ksiv achsim atoyva, nagid giben shjor to everyone. Kol tov b'mitzliach. Let's just stop the recording.